again, everyone. Here's your origins. I am Daniel, your host. Today we will be talking about, my brother will be joining soon, and we'll be talking about how much we're enjoying the first several episodes of House of Dragon, and I've watched all of the Cyberpunk Edge Runners. And we'll cover that, and we'll cover why they're so much more successful than Amazon's Rings of Power, which one of their episodes on right now, and I'm waiting for Gary to get his done because I am not watching it anymore. If anybody's wondering why I haven't done any more reviews, it's because I'm done. Fucking done. I couldn't finish episode 3, so I'm fucking done. If anybody's wondering why I got a big fucking thing on my finger, I almost cut my finger off. No, not really. I'll tell the story later. There we go. Some text my brother, tell him I'm live. Coffee for all you. I didn't have much Jack left, so I was like, screw it, I'll just have some freaking coffee. But yeah. Welcome, everyone. Oh. You know, there are a couple good shows on right now. Netflix is killing it. They are. They have a couple shows on there that are fucking awesome. Cobra Kai. Another anime called Bastards. Hey.
What's up?
What are you doing?
Playing a game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we're going to talk about House of Dragon. Have you got to watch the Cyberpunk yet on Netflix?
I watched some of it. It wasn't really my style of show, but
really, I fucking loved it. I loved it so much. It got me back in the Cyberpunk game.
it's okay.
Like I went and got the game.
It's just not my style of show.
I liked it. It was really impactful. The characters were freaking awesome. Ending was like fucking horrible, but it was also like emotional. Like you're like, damn, because you kind of knew it was gonna happen. But when it did, it's just like shit, dude. But it really pulled a lot from like the actual game because they worked with like the game creators and stuff that worked on the not Naughty Dog, fucking Naughty Dog. No, it was what was that studio? Red, something like that.
Yeah.
That did the game. Yeah. And I guess they have the update came out for the game called Edge Runners, and so they've really improved like the edge running stuff, like the cybernetic stuff, and they released like the outfits and stuff into the game from the show. It was really good, and so far I haven't seen as many bugs as I was when we first played it. It crashed on me one time, and it wasn't that big a deal. But yeah, so it's been fun. And if you're wondering why my fingers are all covered in that. Huh? Like that.
What?
You know how I did that?
No.
Chainsaw.
What are you doing with a chainsaw?
Well, I borrowed Nina or my wife's mom's little handheld chainsaw. It's about like this long. The chain blade's about like that long, and we use it to like cut down big branches. And I was cutting down on the branches in the backyard by the fence because they're getting too tall and they're getting into the wires. And I was trying to pull, like I had it on, and I was grabbing like a piece of like stick or something that was hanging out of the thingy, and I was pulling them out. And I had my big fucking heavy duty work gloves on my hands, and one piece of the work glove caught underneath where there's a little thing underneath that has a chain blade that goes through. Caught onto my work glove, pulled my finger up into the freaking thing, like into the chain, like where the freaking. Luckily, I was fast enough that I pulled my finger out, got most of the glove out, and all it did was like it cut me pretty deep, right at the edge. But it shredded my glove.
You have stitches?
No, it wasn't that bad. I hope not. It was bleeding pretty good, but I wrapped it up pretty tight. So I was like, I think I'm good.
But did you at least put the butterfly band-aids on that thing?
No, I just wrapped it with just fucking gauze and tape.
I hope it's not like purple.
I didn't do that tight. Jesus.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your finger.
Nah, it wasn't bleeding that bad. It actually stopped bleeding. I went cleaned it earlier again. But it was just, it cut down into like, I don't know, maybe like that far into it, into my finger. Like it just went into the finger, got the nail a little bit, and then I pulled. Like, I was so quick when it happened because as soon as I felt the blade get the like the edge of my glove, I like yanked my hand out of the fucking glove. And then I like pulled the glove out and it like shredded like the entire finger worth of the glove. I was like, whew. That's why you wear your safety stuff, everyone. Because it was my bare hand and it caught. Oh, that would have sucked. I was being a dumbass. I should have like, fucking let the blade, because all you have to do is undo the safety and it just turns the blade off. And you just pull the gunk out of it. Because it catches onto all the bushy stuff and pulls it down into between the blade and the stuff. Man. Whew. God, that fucking, it doesn't even hurt. Like I don't feel anything. Like it doesn't hurt. Like you think it would hurt like hell having a giant fucking gash out of the tip of your finger, but I don't feel anything. That or just like my brain was like. But yeah, so we've watched the first half of the Game of Thrones House of the Dragon.
Was that half of it already?
I'm pretty sure that's the first half of the season because right now the next episode is when they get rid of the two of the women are leaving. And they're putting in older women who are supposed to be playing those parts. Because they're going ahead like 10 or 15 years or something like that. The next episode. I think there's like 8 episodes.
The first season will run 10 episodes, so the next one will be half.
Okay. Well, pretty much this is the point where they could either go broke or they could kill it. Because right now, two of one of my favorite the actress, the short girl with the white hair, I can't remember her name, but the princess who's an heir. She's leaving. Yes. And they're replacing her with an older woman. So the actress who's been playing her this whole time is gone. Her and the redhead chick is leaving. The queen, the girl's been playing the queen, and they're gonna replace her with an older woman too. Because they're doing a time jump, but it's so far in the future that they have to replace the actresses so they look older. And so this could either be really good or really bad. It matters like how the actresses do. Because I'm kind of worried because they were killing it in this, and so I'm hoping that they don't replace them with like just older actresses who just don't fill the role or don't look like.
I doubt they will. Like
the writing has been phenomenal though in this show. This is what makes a show.
It's a lot better
win or lose.
There's not as much cheesy bullcrap.
Yeah, and everything. Well, I was watching people's reviews, and I realized how much, like, just random things they say in other episodes affect these episodes. Like, they're like the first episode, when what's his name, the uncle comes in, and she goes, "Oh my god, you smell like dragon." Remember that?
Yeah.
Well, in this latest episode, what do you think happens when he gets too close to the horse? The horse smells the dragon on him. That's why he got spooked so easily. When he went up like this at the horse, and his wife was on the horse, and he went like that, and the horse fell backwards, crushed his wife. You remember that part? It's right at the beginning of this latest episode.
I remember it.
Okay. You're looking like you were confused. Like, what?
I'm still finishing my game. But,
but no, I was watching a review, and they said, yeah, that's probably why the horse got so spooked. And I was like, holy shit, he's right. Because a horse would fucking spook if you're smelling a fucking dragon on you. And that's why she was kind of looking around. Like he wasn't saying anything in that episode, but you knew exactly what he was doing to do, which is great acting. Rings of Power, they have to explain everything because they think we're like fucking retarded.
Yeah, I
But
mean, he killed his wife doing that.
I know, but think about like how he was acting when he walked up there. He didn't say a word to her, but she figured it out by his posture. He just walked up and he's like, and it's kind of it's. I watched a review and they're like, yeah, if he's not saying anything, get worried because the less he says, the more he's gonna kill you.
No, usually.
And he just stood there and he's just like, and she's like, oh, you're back. She's acting all bitchy to him, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. He had that look like, you have no idea what I'm gonna do to you, do you? And she's like, oh, if you finally come home, you're never gonna get the throne unless you kill a chick. What was the one? It was like, either you have to kill the child, or you have to. And then she stops and she like looks back and she's thinking, and it hits her what he's planning on doing, and he like gives her like a smirk. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. And she reaches for a bow because he realizes she's the dead woman. Like right then, she knows what's gonna happen. So he reaches back, tries to grab her bow. He goes up to the horse and goes, whoa! And the horse rears up, falls backwards, lands on her. She's crippled because it crushes her spine. And so she's just laying there.
Busts open her head with a rock.
Then she mocks him though. He's like walking away. She's like, I knew you couldn't finish the job. Because he was going to leave her to die a slow and painful death. And then he looked back at her and goes, really? Really? Fine. Picks up this fucking rock. And I'm like, oh, shit. At first, I was so confused until she called him her husband. I was like, oh, shit. That's just what. I'm like, she's actually kind of cute.
I figured he was going to kill her and then he was going to take the dragon in and like kill like half the people and then take his.
I was waiting for the dragon to land like right behind her. Because he kept doing that, like, this look, like he's looking around, like. And she was getting nervous. She's like, what? I figured the dragon was going to be like, crawl over the fucking canyon and just like, bite her fucking head off or something. That would have been cool. Fucking, that would be cool if they didn't even show the dragon come down. Like, it was like on the side of the cliff or something and it crawled up, but you didn't see it on the camera. And its neck, all of a sudden she like reaches for a bow and like the dragon's head just pops down its neck and just grabs her and lifts her off the horse. That'd be cool. I'd be like, damn. And he would have looked up and smiled like, good boy. Good boy. Don't play with your food now.
Yeah. Well, he needed her to die in a way that wasn't going to put him at risk.
Yeah.
That's the why he didn't kill her like that.
Yeah, then it came up like the whole thing.
I thought he was going to go in and kill the king. Like, I could have swore he was going to go in there and kill the king.
Like, when he showed up, like, in the throne, I was like, damn, this dude got balls. Because he knows he's been banished.
No, I'm talking about, like, when he went to the wedding.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, he's been banished in the last episode, and he showed up at the wedding. He was like, he stood there, didn't say anything to the king, and the king was looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, you could see the anger in his eyes. Like, you could tell that he's just too fucking gone to care. Because he's so sick. You could tell, like, throughout these episodes, he's gotten sicker and sicker. And the king. Yeah, that thing is spreading. Did you see?
He was just waiting for that wedding. He was pushing himself to stay alive until she was married to a man so that she didn't lose the crown to her, like, the people. He wanted her to have
son.
He wanted her to have the power instead of because the people were going to uprise against her. Because they were talking about it the whole time. So I think the whole reason he died right after the wedding was because he was holding himself to stay alive until she was fully married.
Yeah,
that's my thought process on that.
Yeah, no, like,
yeah, I mean, it's like I like the fact that like the It doesn't
She
have
told
the
him to kidnap
super
her.
over cheesy lines. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
there's no
still don't
like
know what. I
stupid over.
wonder if they're
Yeah.
going to show what actually made the fight happen, because like all we
Oh,
know
we
is she
know what
was standing
happened.
there. We don't know
No,
what
they were
happened.
talking. Remember when the guy came up? It was the guy. It was the her husband, like they're because they're getting married. Her fiance's boyfriend, because he's gay.
Yeah,
I guess in the books he's gay, and
yeah,
so she's marrying him because she doesn't want to have children. And she
right.
tells him in the episode, "You do what you want to do. I'll do what I want to do."
I know.
And her plan was to keep that one dude around so she could keep screwing him. And then that other guy went to him and told him straight to his face, I understand, you love her, I loved him. We got a deal going on. We got a good thing. Let's
Yeah, but
let's
that
keep it
wasn't.
going.
That
I
didn't start
think
the fight right
I,
then. The
no,
fight
I
happened
think
later. I think it was the brother. I think it was the uncle that started that fight.
I don't know because I think he's pissed. You got to remember the one guy is pissed because he went to the queen and confessed because the
Well, he
queen
only
asked him.
confessed because the queen thought he was. The queen
She he
thought
was
she slept
she
with
had
her uncle.
screwed the uncle,
Yeah, so
but
the only and he confessed because he thought she was actually going after him. That's the only
well,
reason he
I also thought
confessed.
it was kind of a guilt because he's kind of
Yeah, it
guilty
was guilt
because
because he knew
he
he
betrayed
thought
his
that
oath.
she.
He thought she loved him, and he thought that they could go off together because he even tells her on the boat, he's like, I want to go to
Yeah,
these
but that's not.
lands. I want to go see
I
the
don't think that's what
oranges and the.
started that fight, though. I really think it was the
I
brother that
don't
started the
know
fight
because
somehow.
it might have been, but I really
Because
think
the
it was.
brother,
I think
remember, she told the brother, "Just take me. We're leaving. Like, take me out of here. Kill my dad's
father
guards, and let's go."
take me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She was
So
telling him she's
I
pretty
think
much the
something
only way you're
happened
gonna
and
have me
somebody
is this.
overheard her or something. I think somebody
Maybe
overheard her and got in a
I
fight
don't
with
know.
him.
The only thing that it kind of makes because of what I see is happening is he loves her and he wants to be the one. And so this whole time he's been like jealous. He's feels betrayed because he gave his oath. He gave everything up for her, and now she's getting married. And then this guy comes over. He goes, don't worry. You know, this because he's a very honorable man. You got to remember he's a knight, so he's a very honorable person. And when this other guy is just straight up saying, it's okay, we're going to still do what we want to do, and they're not going to be faithful to each other, just stick with her and she'll keep your blah, blah, blah. I think it offended his
Yeah, but
honor.
he was already told that. Remember, she told him that.
Well, she kind of hinted at it.
No, she
She
told
didn't
him straight
really,
up, and he's like, "Oh, you want me to be
your whore, yeah.
your whore?" Remember, she told him
Yeah.
directly
But
what
he
was
didn't
about to
like
happen.
that. But I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think it was him that got. I don't. I think it was the brother somehow got in the fight, but I don't know. Maybe not. It's very speculative because you don't really know what happens. They turn to a
Mm.
different scene, and the next thing you know, everybody's beating up on each other.
Well, it was just those two, though. It was,
Well,
everybody was
no,
kind of
it
like
ended up
trying to
being
figure
those
out.
two.
It was
But
well.
I
What
think
it
something else happened.
was they were trying to figure out what was going on, but it was like the whole crowd, everybody around them were like, "What the fuck's going on?" And it was him. They were fighting, and all of a sudden, like he gets him on the floor and he beats him to death. He
Yeah,
literally
I saw that.
beats him to death, and then I think he realizes what he did. I think he just snapped. I think all this has been building up in him. When that guy went up there, it was like, we're gonna be horse, and he fucking just lost it and beat the guy to death. And then he went out to commit subaku, which is kind of weird because that's a Japanese fucking suicide. I was a little weird about that. I was like, why is he committing subaku? Subaku is right. You put your sword down, you take out your dagger, and you fucking sacrifice yourself for dishonor. You cut out your stomach and let the
Yeah, I
guts spill
know.
out.
I know
That's
what
what
that
he
is.
was doing.
I know what he was doing.
And then the queen stopped him, so I don't know what. I don't know if she stopped him or what's happening. But my feeling is because of that one guy, that little snaky guy that showed up in the garden. Remember, the queen was out there, and he's the one that kind of like
I would
told her
kill
about
him
the tea.
if I was the queen. I'd have killed him. That dude's a
This little snaky guy,
yeah.
the
That
one
dude needs
lippy guy. Yeah,
yeah. Those kind of people. Like if I was king on that, those kind of people would be dead. I don't trust people like that.
I thought it was funny. I was like, as soon as he said like the T, and she's like,
I thought I
what?
thought
I don't
I
know why
thought the
she was.
war.
I don't know why she was so mad because even it says the king sent it to her. It's not like she requested it. Because she's the one that told her that she was still a maiden, and she swore on the death of her mother, which is kind of fucked up. Because it proves to her that she isn't truthful at all, and she's willing to, swear in a fucking spirit of her dead mom. But yeah, so the show is really good. My God, everything is coming together. Now she's married to the one dude who is kind. Now you can see that he's pissed too, because now the one he loved is dead, and he's still forced to marry her. And the one she loved murdered his love.
I don't think she
So
loves him.
no, she doesn't love him. She used him. I think she's more into the uncle. This
Oh
is kind
yeah,
of
she's
weird.
definitely into the uncle, which is really freaking messed up. But it's Game of Thrones
Ugh,
for you, so I mean, I don't
it's
know.
gross. It's gross because it would literally be like your daughter being into me. Ugh,
No
God,
thanks.
fucking, it's family, dude. But everybody's like, this is like Game of Thrones. This is normal. I'm like,
I mean,
no.
the first Game of Thrones with the brother and sister were the king and queen, so
Ugh, nah. Whatever. But yeah, so ugh. Yeah, that was interesting. So now we got a queen who is now against her because she's convinced that if she does become like full blown queen and ruler, there will be a war, but also she'll put to death her and her children because she'll have to because it'll be like a threat to the throne, threat to her power. I don't think she would do it because they're friends. I don't think she would order that at all. But that guy convinced her that that's what's going to happen.
yeah, because they're trying to get her to turn against them. They want her son to
They
become
want her
king.
son, and yeah, to become king. And that's why I think it's funny is they had like the stag, and they were like, "This is the most, this is a sign that he's worthy to be king." And then like she sees a stag, but the stag like walks right up to her. Remember that part when they were gone hunting? Like the white stag is like the lord of the forest or whatever, and there's like one scene every so often. Very rare to find one,
Yeah.
and that's why he names him the whatever he named him, and said the stag was a sign that he would be a great ruler. And the only reason he sees it is because he's got like a bunch of hunters holding it down.
I don't know.
But his daughter's in the middle of nowhere, and the stag just walks up to her and looks at her like, "You're worthy."
She saw the actual real one. He saw the gray one. Remember, he killed the gray one,
Oh yeah,
and then she saw the white one.
oh yeah, okay, yeah. It's funny. There's a lot of like little tiny signs in this. This is why good writing can make all the difference. Good writing makes everything better. The problem with Rings of Power is they write all the characters stupid. The writers don't know how people talk to each other, let alone talk to your audience. They had to literally explain every little detail of everything they're doing, and it's fucking retarded. Oh my god, I couldn't even get through the third episode. I guess the new episode's out now. Scary's watching. He's gonna review it soon at like around midnight. I'll probably stay up to watch that later after the stream's over. See what he thinks of the new episode. But yeah, they're ripping off like old Tolkien sayings. Like they just one of Gary's favorite lines is what Gandalf says, not all who wander are lost. It's a really famous line from Tolkien.
Yeah.
And he says it all the time. And they gave that line to one of the Hobbit chicks, the fake Frodo, and she tells the wizard that. She's talking to the wizard, and I guess she says, "Not all who wander are lost." And he looks at her like, "Oh," I'm like, Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck off. Now you know this is Gandalf, even though he's not supposed to come into the third age.
Yeah, it's that show is all it is fan fiction, man. That's what it
It's
is.
it's
And
not.
anybody that says it's Tolkien is an idiot.
This isn't even fan fiction. Fan fiction would like love the fucking fan. They're fans. These are like idiots who are like, yeah, we got an IP. Let's do basic.
They're fan fiction. It's just they're trash.
Well, there's good fan fiction, and then there's shit. And this is just shit. This is like opposite. This is hater flick. This is like they hate what came before, and they're trying to take it away. Oh god, it's so bad. I watched all the Peter Jackson films last week. Again, the extended
I've seen them.
versions.
Yeah.
And I rewatched them, and I was fucking
I mean,
loving
those
it. Like the
they're still not
dialogue.
perfect. I mean, obviously,
Well, yeah, they're
but they're
not.
movies, and they were sanctioned by
Chris.
Tolkien. So
Well, not Tolkien, Chris. It was Christopher.
Chris Tolkien, though.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it
it's not. He's
wasn't
not the
J.R. Tolkien.
author, but yeah, but still a Tolkien. At least a Tolkien, you know, actually sanctioned it.
Well, technically, Tolkien did sanction Rings of Power, but it's like the great grandson, and he has been known to be a piece of shit. And he doesn't give two shits. He just wants the money. He doesn't give a shit about fucking anything. He just wants to have easy money coming into his pocket. But I just heard this today that Amazon is furious. Like they're all losing their minds because they expected this show to be like the greatest thing. They wanted this show to beat House of Dragons. That's what Bezos wanted. He wanted this show to come out and House of Dragons to come out and this kick the crap out of House of Dragons. That's what he expected. That's why he gave so much money to these guys. And when they came out and nobody likes it, everyone, even the shill websites, are just shitting on the show. Like they can't even say anything good about it. Like they literally had like Forbes, which is like one of Amazon's like pets, freaking magazine came out and was like, yeah, this show's one of the worst written things I've ever heard. I'm like, yeah, see, even your shills can't defend it anymore. Just like, and you can tell on Twitter, there's less and less people on Twitter actively like supporting it. Like there was always like these big like on Twitter I've been watching like these couple people that are always on there like, this is the greatest episode ever. This is Tolkien me so proud. This continues its work in a new and exciting way. It's like, like no, you're a fucking moron. And now they're like quiet. Like one or two will still be around, but most of them are like, Even you can't defend this shit anymore. What's funny is I found this out today, thanks to Ryan Cannell and some of the others, is they've been deleting thousands of 1-star reviews. Amazon deleted like almost all of the 1-star reviews on their show because they were trying to bump up the numbers and they were so panicking they just got rid of like all the 1-star reviews. And now they're back because they got caught. A bunch of people noticed it because like all the reviews were gone. And it went from like, I think it was like a 3.1 on their scale to like almost a 4 over like an hour. And everybody's like, what the fuck? And they looked. And yeah, they just deleted all the negative review. Anything that was negative, they deleted it. And they got caught. And so, because they approved because what they did before was when they allowed you to review it, you'd review and then they would approve as long as you didn't put anything way too hateful or, blah, whatever on your tweet, they approved it. And if you got it approved, they send you a letter, thank you for reviewing, customer. Your feedback is always appreciated, something like that. And pretty much these people had like tickets where they had like emails like saved. And what they did is they went on and they found out they deleted them later during this purge. And so they brought it up and people were like sending emails to Ryan and stuff. And so he made a video, and yeah, they're now back up because they got busted. So they freaking undid their delete, and so the numbers went back down. But what I've heard from some of the people who know people in the back that are well acquainted with people in Amazon is Bezos and the upper echelon are furious, like pissed, because they expected this show to kill it, and it went, and everybody hates it, and because they hate it, he's literally there. There's rumors that are going on. He's gonna clean house before the next season gets shot. He's gonna fire everyone in Amazon Studios, everyone from the very top to the very bottom. He's gonna fucking clean them all out and rehire new people. And I'd laugh so hard if, like, in a week or two, we get an announcement that the showrunners of Rings of Power left the project, and so is all the executive producers, actresses, and actors. If he has that much money invested in the show, he should just say, "Fuck this, cancel it now." Take whatever's remaining of the money he put into it, rehire new people. Tom Shippey. Hire Tom Shippey because he's like the toking expert. Give him full power. Be like, dude, just make me a Lord of the Rings show. And what I would do is I would do either a fourth age, because it's something that's not written. If you can get a hold of like some of like Tolkien's notes in the fourth age, what happens after, that would be kind of interesting. Like the dwarves going back to Khazad-dûm to reclaim it. Because there's a game coming about that. Did you know that? Next year, they're coming out with a survival game.
For what?
For Lord of the Rings. It's supposed to be in the fourth age. It's after the shadow's gone from Khazad-dûm. You know what Khazad-dûm is, right? It's the place they went through where the Balrog was, which Gandalf fought and then killed. But everybody thought Gandalf died in Khazad-dûm, which is a big dwarven city in the mountains. It's been lost. Pretty much, the game is pretty much you're a dwarf, so you get to create your own dwarf. And you're going with Gimli back to Khazad-dûm to reclaim Khazad-dûm. So you get to go into the mines of Khazad-dûm. You get to mine. You get to fight creatures in the dark, like a survival game. It's a survival game. And you get to build like your own freaking, you start to rebuild Khazad-dûm. So you have to rebuild like fortresses, you build like forges, you forge like the greatest.
Here's some articles that I'm reading. This one's from, I don't know what CBR is, but it says
shit. CBR is trash. It's a trash site, huh?
And what are you talking about? Let's see. Yahoo.com says that Jeff Bezos said his son told him not to fuck this up. Said Amazon founder made the comment to audience series. The series cost $1 billion to make and is set 3,000 years before the events of Peter Jackson films. After Amazon got involved in the project, my son came up to me one day, he looked me in the eyes very sincerely and said, "Dad, please don't fuck this up."
His son's probably pissed. That's why he's probably really pissed. It's because his son came up to him and was like, "Fucking Dad, I told you not to fuck this up." He's like, "I put $1 billion fucking dollars in this show. What the fuck happened?" You know what happened? Half that money went to he's got like 5 executive producers on this show. You know what happened? They pocketed that fucking money. They pocketed it. They were like, "Hey, thanks you for my expense. Now let's do the cheapest fucking shit we can find. Let's hire zero talent with their actors and actresses. Most of them have no experience whatsoever on screen. Maybe 1, maybe 2 tiny movies. Let's hire showrunners who only have a tiny credit in creating, what was that? The new Star Trek movie. It was one of those new Star Trek movies that was terrible."
Here's from BBC.
BBC's also garbage.
Some BBC stuff is okay, but some of the other stuff is not so good. Let's see.
They love the new
Lord of the Rings prequel is Amazon's most expensive show to date, but can it be the hit the streamer needs? On the basis of 2 episodes, the jury's out, writes Stephen Kelly. Let's see.
Mainstreams are being kind of shilly, so you gotta be careful. Most of those guys are paid off.
Martin, of course, famously wrote Game of Thrones. No, not talking about that. Let's see. Developed showrunner by J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay. Relative
fucking
newcomers in the world
bad
of screenwriting.
reboot.
The Rings of Power is largely adapted from the immense backstory. No, not really. It's actually not.
It has nothing to do with anything Tolkien. They just took names. They were like, hey, that's a name. Can we use it? Yeah, okay, we'll use that name too. Heck, if we can't use a name, we just won't name them in the show. That's why they got Gandalf. They got Gandalf, but they won't call him Gandalf. They'll never give him a name at the show because they don't want to. They don't want to get sued. They can't use Gandalf's name. And we also can't. There's a couple other names they're not supposed to be able to use, and I think that's why they're not in the show at all. Like Gadriel's husband is somehow not in the show, even though by this time in this age he would have had a kid.
It says here it is. It says this is the closest TV show that has come to blurring the lines between television and cinema, even if narratively it is a rather ponderous version of the former so far.
It's absolutely
saying
trash.
The narrative is trash. As the story begins, Galadriel, blah blah blah. Let's see.
The Karen bitch. That's what she is in the show. She's literally
the first episode struggles slightly under the weight of establishing the world and setting up all of its threads, some of which are more interesting than others. The forbidden romance between Elf Arendar and human Browen and the Sutherlands, for example, is quite flat in comparison with Galadriel's compelling mission of revenge, which is not actually what she's supposed to be doing, so whatever. Again, that's why it's a fan fiction. Let's see.
It's not. It's terrible.
It says, unlike, say, Game of Thrones, the characters of the Rings of Power are more archetypal and more traditionally mythic. This is not to say that the Game of Thrones is better because it is more subversive. Tolkien and Martin merely inhabit two different realms of fantasy. Games of Thrones is engrossing because of its complicated characters and challenging morales. The Lord of the Rings, while not a simple tale of good and evil, is arguably more poetic in tone and ultimately more moving in nature. I disagree with that take, kind of.
Well, yeah.
I think both characters, like if you actually dive into the lore of the characters, they're pretty
complicated.
I would say
like
complicated.
Lord of the Rings have very complex characters.
Yeah, but the show is terrible because it doesn't know how to portray the complexity of the actual characters.
Oh yeah. No, they completely screwed up the complexity of the characters.
So the first two episodes of The Ring of Power occupy an awkward space where it's not yet apparent if either of these approaches apply to it. Its characters have not yet revealed themselves as complex, while it's too early to tell if it will rebottle the catharsis of Tolkien's work or Peter Jackson's movies. Yet what does make it work so far is what made The Lord of the Rings work, the earnestness of its performances and the sincerity of its writing. I disagree with that. There's no sincerity in the writing at all.
The writing is terrible. This is the worst written. The music sucks.
Why did they pick two people that are don't even know what the hell they're doing to run Rings of Power?
Bad reboot and cheap. After
you spent $1 billion on two brand new people.
It doesn't matter. Let me explain what's happening in Hollywood right now. If you remember when Weinstein was in charge, remember Weinstein got Me Too'd, the big Me Too? Well, he's pretty much he was kind of the big boss of Hollywood. Everybody he was like, the kingpin. Guess who replaced him after he got Me Too'd? J.J. Abrams' wife, who created the Me Too movement. Guess who J.J. Abrams is? The guy who owns Bad Reboot or Bad Robot. It's pretty much an educated, like he trains movie, directors and shit. And Bad Reboot and Bad Robot. I call it Bad Reboot because that's his thing. That's literally his game plan. He said his literal game plan is this: buy existing IP, trash everything before it because we can't use the merchandise. You can't leak, because everything that came before has already been, the rights to the merchandise is already to somebody else. So it's like trash everything that comes before the show. Create something new. You need at least 25 to 50% difference from your show from their show, because that way you can make new merchandise and your show, sell merchandise, make lots of money. Because all he cares about merchandise. That's it. He doesn't give a shit about the IP. He doesn't give a shit if the show's good or bad. He just wants a show IP so he can make the merchandise and sell the merchandise off. And then mystery box. He says his big thing he likes to do is mystery boxes. You don't know what's going to happen because you don't know what's in the box. We don't know what's in the box. The audience won't know, so we could surprise them no matter what. So no matter what fan theories they come out with for shows, we can always say, nope, you're wrong. We figured it out. Stuff like that. That was his big thing. And he's got a horrible thing with freaking the lens flares. He loves the lens flares. He thinks it's the coolest effect. And you notice that a lot in the show. So you can see where Patrick McKay and the other guy are from Bad Robot. They're from there. So is one of the executive producers on the show. She's actually in charge of all of Amazon's Prime. He literally put this chick who's from Bad Robot in charge of all Prime. And she's the one who trashed the Conan series that they were planning. They literally were planning a Conan. One of the main creators of Conan was coming out, and he was like, hey, I want to do a show about Conan. And she came in, she got the script and stuff, and she's like, this is too much male toxic. This has way too much male toxicity. We can't have this much male toxicity. You need feminists. Because she's a hardcore feminist. And she hated the show. And she refused it. She denied them to allow the Conan show to be made. And so they trashed that, and they brought in Wheels of Time, which is another fuck it up show. They fucked up Wheels of Time. Everybody who likes Wheels of Time has been hating on their show. But they're not as big as Rings of Power. I mean, Lord of the Rings. They're nowhere close to being that massive level. And so Game of Thrones came out, and everybody loved Game of Thrones. So Bezos wants Game of Thrones. So he went to her and goes, hey, hire some people, get this going. I want a Game of Thrones level Lord of the Rings thing, because Lord of the Rings is the most popular fantasy thing out there. And she goes, okay. And so what they do, and he's like, here's $1 billion. I want 5 seasons. And they go, oh, okay. And so what they did, she went the cheapest way possible. She probably put most of it in her own pocket. Let's be honest. She probably paid herself and the other executive people a lot of money, and they went out and goes, hey JJ, do you got any guys that that are free, not doing anything? And he's like, oh yeah, these 2 that worked on Star Trek. One of the Star Trek movies it's probably free. She goes, okay, you 2, come here. Have you worked on anything before? No. Okay, good. That means I can hire you cheap. Because you're not worth anything yet. You haven't proven yourself. That's why in Hollywood, the more popular and more history you have, and the more movies you have, the more expensive you are, because the more talented you are, and so you can demand more money. So these 2 probably took fucking pennies on the dollar to write do this show, and they hired writers from the new Star Trek. What's that show? The fucking really horrible one. Whatever, it's a new one. It's a new Star Trek, which is shit. And they hired a couple other writers from what was it? It was a bunch of writers from a bunch of shitty fucking shows that other companies did. So these are like woke shitty writers. And then she went in and she hired talent that was barely noted, like barely had any work to their name whatsoever. Because they're cheap. And she hired like 1 or 2 actors who were like kind of known. That way they could put their names in there. Like, look, see, they're doing it. Even though one of them's like character is fucking horrible. Actually, all the characters are fucking horrible. I don't know what I'm saying. And that's what's going on right now in Hollywood. Is J.J. Abrams' wife is the new Weinstein. She's like fucking the godmother of all this shit. And anybody who goes against her, she can Me Too out of there. So they kind of leave her alone. All she has to do is have some fucking actors come out and be like, that director did something to me, and then his life is over. So yeah. So she's got all the power. So of course JJ, who's fucking her husband, has got all the power too. And that's why he got into Star Wars. That's why the Star Wars sequel trilogy all fucked up. It's because they gave it to him. And they gave him all bunch of stuff that he's fucked up. Star Trek, Star Wars. He's fucked up. Let's see what else is bad reboot in charge of. Doctor Who. I don't know, not Doctor Who. There's some other stuff he's in charge of that just fucking tanked. And so far, he hasn't been able to get a series. He's trying to get into Superman and DC stuff, but they canceled that on him. He was going to create the first black Superman. And fucking, I think he just got lost that too, because they just announced that, what's his name was playing Superman and for the last couple movies. He's coming back. So yeah, fun. So that's what's happening. That's why all this shit is happening so far. They need to get rid of all the bad robot. That's what I would do. If I got in charge of Hollywood, bad robot would never get hired. I don't care who you are. If you have, like, I would literally sit down and be like, okay, where are you from? And they go, bad robot, fucking bye. Get the fuck out. Just get the fuck out. I don't care if you're next Spielberg. Get the fuck out. You have bad robot to your name, done. I don't fucking talk to you. That's why I fucking hate that. Every time they're like, I have bad robot, I'm like, fuck. Here we go. This show's gonna be shit because all of them are shit. I hate them. I hate them so much. But yeah, so that's what's happening back. Because Conan would have been a badass series. Can you imagine a Conan series? Like you know what Conan is, right?
Yeah, I know what Conan is.
That'd be fucking awesome. You'd have like demons and fucking half naked women and fucking jacked ass fucking dude just fucking slaying shit. Oh, that'd be a cool ass. Get heavy metal songs in the background. He fucking would kill it. Yeah, but the Cyberpunk, I can't believe you didn't really like Cyberpunk. You need to finish it. Finish the whole series and then tell me what you think. Because there's a couple episodes I was like, but
it's just like
when it ends.
I don't know if it's like the style of show or like the cheesiness of fighting, and it feels like an old, I don't know, cartoonish show. To me,
I liked it.
It was okay, but
I like the main character like really well. Like he really like. There's a part in where you can tell he's like new, and then like everybody he like respects gets killed off, and then and then like the next episode he's like, it's like it's like a time lapse, so they like go back into the future more, and he's like grown up now. He's fucking jacked. So he improved everything. He's almost fully turned himself into like a robot almost. Because he planted the crap out of himself. So he's like fucking deadly as hell. And then now he's in charge of the whole group. Everybody looks to him, and it's fucking good. And you can tell like,
I'll watch it.
Finish it, dude. Trust me. At the end, it's really cool because they bring in what's his name from the game? Adam Smasher shows up in the show. You know, you remember Adam Smasher from the game, right? Big fucking cyborg dude. It's pretty much the end boss, dude. He shows up and he's just like, hello. He's like, oh shit, it's Adam Smasher. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you now. He's like, oh fuck. So yeah, you get to enjoy that. I thought it was fucking good. Like all the characters, I liked a lot of the characters that are in it, and some of them die fucking horribly. And you're like, they're not gonna kill. Bam! You're like, oh fuck, they just killed fucking this character. Oh my god. Oh, it was good. I liked it. And then there was that. Netflix has been killing it though. They have 3 good shows out. There's that show Bastard, which I really enjoy. Bastard is like, you could look at it's an anime. It's pretty much this Dark Armies Rising. The High Priest.
Like
huh?
Go for it. You can keep telling your story.
No, it's a heavy metal style adult animation on Netflix. So it's gonna have boobs, it's gonna have some dirty touching, but it's still so good. Because it's funny, is because it's hilarious. It's literally the hero is actually the villain. Like he's like one of the worst villains, and they actually make him into kind of a hero, but he's not really a hero. He's way too into himself. You gotta watch it. It's hilarious. Pretty
I
much,
kind of
he's
like. So the two shows that I started watching on Netflix were The Imperfects and Fate, both of which are pretty decent.
I haven't watched any of those. Fate, like which Fate? Are you talking about like the animation Fate?
No, Fate, the Winx Saga.
Oh, I don't know what that one is.
It's like it's like these people that are it's called the Other World, and they're fairies.
Oh, I remember seeing something about that, and I was like, fairies, really?
Oh, this is all right. It's all right. Not bad. Not a bad series.
Well,
Netflix
I'm
and
getting.
HBO seem to be doing like Amazon has the cheapest garbage shows ever.
Well, they have a couple good shows. They did that one that I'm actually looking at watching, Spartacus or something like that. Not Spartacus. What is it called?
They didn't do that show. That was
It's a
Netflix.
new hero. It's a new guy. Like he's an old hero who pretty much left the business. He retired, and then he has to come back. It's supposed to be really good.
The movie,
Yeah, it's a movie.
yeah, that movie was all right.
I haven't seen that movie yet.
You're talking about
Everybody says it's really.
the Defender or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
The Revenge. I don't remember his name. It was a good movie.
I'll have to watch that.
But I mean, some of their movies are pretty decent. But I'm talking about their TV shows. Their TV shows aren't just. They leave a lot to
Well, you gotta
desire.
think Amazon's a big company, so they have different studios creating different things, and the people in charge of like Wheels of Time and fucking this one, pretty much the same studio, and it sucks. Fucking garbage. That's what happens when you let woke people in your fucking door, and they're like, "Well, have an ant." This is what I think is hilarious. Is they're like, "We want representation." I'm like, okay. Because this literally is funny because the guy came out and he's like, I'm the first Latino black elf in Lord of the Rings. And it's like, okay, show me on a map, not our map, but on Lord of the Rings map, pull up their map, show me the country of Mexico. He's like, what? I'm like, show me where the Mexicans would have came from, the Latinos. Show me.
I mean, I really don't care that the actor is black.
I know they do. That's the whole point. Is like they're promoting it. If you're going to promote it, you have to back it up. Show me where Tolkien said that the Latinas come from. Show me. Because this is not our world. This is a whole different world. Show me. Show me where the black dwarves are. Where do they come from? Show me where the black elves come from. They don't, because it never existed in Tolkien's world. So how the hell are there a couple of them in Tolkien's world when they never came from Tolkien? That's the problem. They're like, well, it wants to reflect our world. No. This is fantasy. You keep telling me it's fantasy. It shouldn't matter. Like I literally I had this argument with people on friend. They're like, it's a fantasy world. Why are you fucking being racist? I'm like, for one, it is a fantasy world. So why does it bother you so much that Tolkien never put Latinas and certain cult people into his story? This is not our world. This is a different world. I'm just saying, there is nowhere in their world where they're Latinas. Anywhere.
I don't really care about that stuff, honestly. I care more that the elves have short hair than I do.
Yeah,
that's
another thing. People are making fun of that. They're like, man, Middle Earth has some good hair cutters.
I'd rather have like the dwarven women have beards and the elves have long hair and actually portray what elves portray because they don't.
Oh, they look like humans. In this whole show, the only time you can tell they're even elves is their pointy ears. And in Tolkien's world, elves were so much more majestic than humans. They didn't even have to, like, they glanced at them and they knew they were elves because that's how much more beautiful they were. More, they shone. They were taller. They were, they were thinner, taller, and they were very pale and very long hair that shone like, either the sun or starlight or whatever. They could, by one glance, you could tell what an elf was in Tolkien's world. When humans first met the elves, it was like freaking. They thought they were gods. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. The show, they're like, you can't even tell an elf from a human because they literally try to, like Galadriel's always trying to hide her ears behind her hair, and it's like like the real Galadriel would have been like, she'd have walked in, they'd have been like, oh my god, a star is sitting in the ocean because she's glowing. And freaking that's why the movies are so much better because they actually represented that in the movies. When they first show Galadriel in the movie, he walks in and like she's literally glowing, like the elves are glowing with power and radiance, and they're like, oh my god, it made a dwarf fall in love with her.
I know.
Like Gimli, who didn't, like, he was kind of like disrespectful to elves, and he was worried about the witch of the woods, showed up, stood in front of her, and asked for pieces of her hair because he has never seen something more beautiful than Galadriel ever. And it's funny, the books is one of the human dudes talks bad about her, and he's like, I will cut off your legs. You talk about the woman wrong. And he's like, whoa, Master Dwarf. Whoa. If I ever do meet her, I will admit I'm wrong. And then later in the book, like, I love it in the books, like later on in the king, when they're Aragorn's becoming king, he's like, so is she as beautiful as? And he's like, yes, Master Dwarf, she is more beautiful than even I thought I could imagine. And he's like, ha, and I got her hair. Which is funny because he actually weaves those hairs into like some of his work later on to become heirlooms to his family. Like he creates something, I can't remember exactly what, and he like infuses the hairs into whatever he makes, and becomes like a family treasure passed down through the ages. Fucking. Plus, Gimli never really goes. He goes back to the glittering caves, which I think they should have shown. They didn't really show that in the movies, which I kind of think is sad because, like, they do show where Gimli goes with Legolas to Faragon, the woods, and he's like, "I would like to go explore these," and he's like, "I'll come with you when you do," and he's like, "Oh, thanks, man." And then, like later, when he gets trapped in the caves during that whole battle of the Homburg. In the Two Towers, the big battle with the walls. Well, there's a caves that they mentioned back there. They're called the Glittering Caves. Gimli literally walks out in tears, like crying, like bawling in the book because he has never seen caves more beautiful than the Glittering Cave. He literally tells the king, he's like, if you would give these caves to the dwarves, we could make it the greatest. I could turn it into the most profitable thing you've ever seen. Because not a dwarf in the world wouldn't give a dragon's loot to just look at these caves. And I don't know, and that's where he comes. Gimli actually moves there, brings his entire clan there, and claims them for their own. The king gives them the glittering caves, and they create a whole kingdom in those glittering caves. So there's a lot of things in the movies that our wish were in there, and there's so much. Plus, the ending in the books are way better than the movies, where you have like the hobbits return to the Shire and they find out fucking Sauron's still alive, but he's the leader of a bandit gang called Sparky. They called him Sparky. He's pretty much trashed. The entire Shire has been like fucking like turned into like a industrial like fucking city complex. You got like the mills. He created a bunch of mills, tore down all these great trees, and built these like giant mills, and they were cranking out black smoke, which is poisoning the land. And he's got these giant like thugs that are pretty much beating the fucking hobbits into submission, and then they show up and then like fucking Merry and fucking what's his name, Merry and Pippin actually are the ones who like become like heroes because they're all like in armor, And who has a horn? Pippin has a horn. He's got a horn from the riders, and if he blows it, it brings courage and like brings a fighting spirit to anybody who hears it. That's your ally. So he blows the horn, and like all the hobbits appear around him, like carrying like picks and carrying shovels and carrying fucking bows and crossbows, and they're like, "We're gonna kill all the humans who have invaded our land." That's when Shalon finally does die. In the movies, he gets killed in the tower, which is a lie. That's never happened in the books. It's just kind of stupid. And it does happen the same way in the book, though, because it's Wormtooth that actually stabs him from behind because he's abandoning him. He's like, "Oh, you can do what you want with him. He's nothing to me." And so he like stabs Sauron in the back, and then Frodo tries to save Sauron, but he can't, and he dies. And Frodo feels sorry for it because he didn't want anybody to die in the Shire. But like, I think they said like 40 people died, like 40 of the men, a couple of hobbits, and they bury them all in one giant grave. But yeah, man, it's good. And freaking Frodo becomes the mayor in the books, and then Sam, I think, takes over for him when he leaves. Sam becomes the next mayor. The fucking hobbits are badass in the books. I wish they'd show that in the movies. Actually, did you know that you remember in the movies that you know when the what's his name, the freaking the bad king, the freaking the Wraith King, when he's facing off against a one woman and she pulls off her helmet, she says, you know, "I'm no man," and she stabs him in the face. You know why he's actually gonna die?
Why?
It was Mary who was really the one who ended him. Because if you in the books, Mary stabs him in the calf because he never sees Mary coming because he's too little, too quiet, and doesn't care. Like he doesn't even think he's a threat. But Mary is carrying the old sword. In the books, he gets a sword from the Barrodons, and it's a sword forged by the elves in ancient times to fight corrupt enemies. You know, to fight the armies of Sauron. So it's like a blessed blade, and when he stabs it into the ankle for the leg, it destroys all the defense magic of the wraith. So when she stabs him through the face, it actually harms him, and that's how he dies. But they both get poisoned because when they stab him, there's like negative like powers that go into them, and then Aragorn becomes the king of the healer. There's a big story. This is what Jesus why you know, Aragorn is supposed to reflect Jesus in Tolkien's world. Because when he returns, he doesn't return as the king at first. He returns like the hood, and he goes into the city. He goes, you know, Aragorn the king isn't supposed to be here yet because the lord of the city hasn't invited him in. He doesn't want to be disrespectful. And some old lady is like, they're trying to figure out how to save these people. And this old lady goes, "I remember stories about the king. There's a plant called the king's something, hands of the king or something like that. And if used, they can heal any wound or any illness." And they're like, well, do you have any? She's like, "I don't think so. It's because it's not a very powerful herb. You know, you need a king. You need a king to use this herb." But there's somebody's like, "Hey, I think I know someone who's got some." And so they ran down through the city collecting them, and they get just enough. And Aragorn puts his hands. She's like, "Who is this guy?" And he's like, "Oh, this is somebody, Strider." They call him Strider at that point still. And he takes it and he lays a leaf on them and then puts his hand on the leaf, and it instantly like pretty much sucks all the poison out of them and heals them. And she's like, "Oh my god, it's a king!" It was true. The hands of the king are a healer. You know, because Jesus is technically not a conquering king; he's a healer. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was a good reference in the books. Man, I love the audiobooks. I want to start listening to the audiobooks. Fucking audiobooks are so much better than fucking the movies. It is true. Like, if you really want to go back to Tolkien, well, get the audiobooks. Yeah. So Cyberpunk was really good. Bastard's good, and Cobra Kai, of course, the new season of Cobra Kai came. Actually, it's supposed to be the last season of Cobra Kai. I've heard rumors that this is it. They're not making any more seasons of Cobra Kai, but they are making a new movie. I don't know if it's by Netflix though. It's somebody else is making a Cobra Kai movie, and it's supposed to be pretty based on the show. So we'll see what happens. But I was a little sad when I heard that was the final season. I haven't watched it all yet because I was going to review it with Caitlin because Caitlin loves the show too, and we were actually reviewed the last couple seasons. So yeah, we're gonna review it together. So Cobra Kai. So Netflix got Cobra Kai. They got Bastard, which I think was fucking awesome. That just came out, and fucking Cyberpunk. So they got 3 great shows. Fucking HBO is like House of Dragon is killing it because I heard it. They started pretty decent, and now they're just going up and up and up and up and up and up to like even higher than some of the Game of Thrones, viewership. Like people are actually liking this more than they did like Game of Thrones. I still haven't watched many. I only re-seen the first episode of Game of Thrones. I just like my biggest problem is, I would love to watch it and get into it. But I know what's going to happen. I know I'm going to get like 4 seasons that are fucking great. And then 5, 6, 7, 8 is going to and I just like, do I really want to invest myself into it?
Game of Thrones was, I thought everything was good up until the last season.
A lot of people said the first 4. They said 5 started, it was still good, but it was like, and then 5 and 6 were like, and then 7 and 8 went.
That's not how I felt. I felt it was all really good until they decided to do whatever they did.
I don't know. I'm hearing rumors that somebody's trying to get into Stargate, and they're trying to redo it, bring back Stargate with a new show. Stargate's my favorite. So if they're gonna mess with Stargate like they did the rest of this,
I'm a big Stargate fan, honestly.
What is wrong with you? Stargate was phenomenal. It's the greatest sci-fi show ever.
I disagree, but that's okay.
The original and Atlantis were my favorites. I never liked the Universe. I could never get into Universe.
I wasn't big on any of them. Just like I jumped through this portal and now I'm here and I fight this alien and I do the same thing over and over and over.
Well, different aliens, and they have, it's a wormhole, so it makes sense. And they use scientific, and then they use history and mythology. As in Atlantis, they show why Atlantis, but that one ended really horribly because they return to Earth. They bring Atlantis back to Earth to help defend Earth, and then that's it. It's like, what happened to Pegasus Galaxy? Because the whole thing was they were rushing to Earth to protect Earth from a bigger threat, and then they were supposed to return to Pegasus to help fight off the rest of the threat, and they never got another season. So it just ended. They just canceled it after that season. So literally, Atlantis lands in the ocean by freaking America, literally by the fucking Golden Bridge. You can see the fucking Golden Bridge from their balcony, and they turn on like a invisibility barrier so nobody can see the city. And they're looking at it. They're like, "How's it feel like to be home?" And they're like, "Wow, this is awesome." But they know that, they literally say, but we can't be here for long because we have to return because we don't want to abandon all the people in Pegasus. And then they never had another season. I was like, no, because there's so much more they can tell on that show. It was so sad. I got 5 seasons, and the Universe, I don't know how many. I never got into Universe. Universes, they go through the gate and they end up on a ship, like an interstellar ship that's just constantly traveling, and they can't get off. Like Atlantis, but different. There's this massive ship that they're stuck on, and they only have so many supplies. They have to figure out how to get quickly because the ship is constantly moving, and the power's running low, and it's empty, and it's been abandoned. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again to see if it's any good. I just didn't like it as I like the rest of them.
I don't know. I wasn't a big. I didn't really get into them that much. I watched some of them and I was just like, they were
I
kind of
love
underwhelming.
Teal'c. Teal'c was always my favorite character in Stargate. Him and Jack O'Neill had the greatest chemistry ever, and I just, that show was so good. I miss shows like that. They don't make them like they used to. That was good sci-fi, you know. But man, yeah. So yeah, Rings of Power just I don't like anything in it. Like the scenes, some of the like back scenes when they like go back and they show like a big scene. I'm like, okay, that looks like Middle Earth, and then they zoom in and then it just falls apart. All the writing, the whole concept of the show, like the entire Gladriel's like revenge plot. She's so pissed because her brother died. But in the lore, if they were following the lore, her brother would reincarnate. Because I don't know if you know this. Do you know the how elves die in Lord of the Rings? When an elf dies, he goes back to the Undying Land. His soul gets reincarnated in the house of can't think of his name.
It goes back to Valinor, don't they?
Huh? Yeah. Well, kind of. Yeah. He goes back to the house of like the head of the Valar. It's his house, and the soul resides within the house until it's ready to be reborn. And it's not reborn like a child; it's reborn like a full-grown elf. So it walks out like it was before. And so, literally, in the show, she's so mad because her brother dies, and they have these like statues in the trees of all the elves that get killed, which I'm like, that's ridiculous because they're elves; they don't stay there. This is not like they're literally going back to Valinor, and they're reborn. So all she would have to do to see her brother again is go back to Valinor and go to the house and see him. That's it. So why is she on this like revenge path? Like, oh my god, I gotta get so he killed my brother. Like, yeah, but he's his like this is like that's a big thing between the humans and the elves. That was a big conflict in like the second and third ages because the humans have no idea what happens to them when they die. Because the Valinor, who created everything, kind of created humans, but they don't keep the humans. So their souls, they don't know where to go. And that's why a lot of humans in this thing turn against the elves because they are afraid that, they want immortality. They want long life. Why can't they be immortal too? Because they're afraid to die. So it's a big thing. And they completely ignored it, which is fucking stupid. Hate this show. I never got through the third episode. I never got through it. I literally got to the point where the fucking hobo hobbits were running around doing their fucking cult dance. And I was like, nope, I'm done. I was like, no, I can't do this. I fucking can't do this. They're literally out there in the woods, like hiking, and they're like, no one leaves a trail, no one left behind, no one leaves a trail, no one left behind. I was like, oh my god, this is like a cult. That's what it reminded me of. Fucking cult chants. And I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. So I turned it off. And I was like, I'll come back to it later. I never have. I never went back to it. No desire. No desire to ever turn that on again. What are you watching?
Not watching anything. Playing a game.
Still playing a game with stuff. But yeah, Cyberpunk was so good it made me want to get back into Cyberpunk. I was like, man, I really wonder if the game is improved. And I got it back. It was cheap. It was on sale, so I got it on the computer. Started playing on the computer. And I had the beginning was kind of problematic because like the savings at the very beginning, like the very beginning story where you get to a certain point, like when it tries to save, it like kind of lags for a while. And so you'd be standing there like waiting for the guy, like the story to continue, and you're like, it's been 5 minutes, what's happening? And then finally all of a sudden the saving will go saved, and then the guy will go like come out really fast and like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, I've been standing here, and then like it'll start saving right before I get into the elevator, and so the guy's like standing there like this. And I'm like, oh, dear God. But after you finish that mission, the saves are easy. It doesn't. I never had any problems since. It's the only time it crashed too. Is right at the beginning. The rest of the time, it's been pretty good. And it's fun. There's a lot more. They added a lot more guns and stuff into the game. You can look it up. I'm just like, I'm killing it as a cyber dude. I'm like a hacker. So I'm just walking around like sneaking around and just hacking people and letting their heads explode. Fucking hilarious. Like some big dude will be like, "Oh god, I'm a fucking boss." Like there's like that one where you go to the mall, the big fucking Hulk chick who comes with a giant hammer to beat, and she's fucking hard. She's easy as shit for a hacker because he hacks into her implants and fucking shuts them off. So she's like, just fucking unloaded on her face. I was like, killed her like that. I was like, wow. That gave me problems when I was like a buff dude who used like melee weapons. But now that I'm a fucking, I was like, Jesus Christ. Oh, plus I figured out how to make myself rich. Oh, I was gonna be rich anyways because if you keep doing like quests, you get fucking rich as fuck in that game. All right, they came out with new apartments, so you don't have to live at the shitty little apartment the whole time. You can actually like move up in the world, so you can like have like a cool like couple cool different apartments you can get. Yeah, Cyberpunk's killing it though, so I was glad about that.
What? So She-Hulk. Have you watched She-Hulk yet?
Fuck no.
I actually like it.
Not. What? How do you like? I'm done with you.
It's a good show.
No, bye. No.
Why is that like bad, dude?
It's a fucking made for wine moms. The writers are the worst writers ever. There's nothing that happens in that show. It's a fucking insult to the actual She-Hulk. They don't even know how to write law, so they're like making up shit. It's horrible. How do you like that show? I don't know you. I really don't know you anymore. You don't like Cyberpunk, but you like fucking She-Hulk? No.
I just said no. It's not my style. It's really
She-Hulk it's created by bunch of fucking elitist women who hate all men. The whole show is nothing but bashing men. All the men in it are fucking retarded. Yeah.
Hulk in it was really good.
What? He acted like a bitch.
No, he didn't.
Oh, yeah, he did. She outdid him the entire time. He's like, oh, I've had my powers for a while. And you have to control your anger. What? I control my anger way more than you. Every day I get cat calls. Have you ever had a cat call?
But it was more like you have to actually watch the context
fuck
around
that.
it. It was good.
I hate this Hulk. I want my Hulk back. Fuck Professor Hulk. Fuck him to death. Fuck that Hulk. Ever since right after Infinity War, Hulk has been the shittiest fucking character. I hated him in Endgame. I've hated him now. Get rid of the Professor Hulk. I want fucking Hulk smash. Fucking angry. You got Banner and you got Hulk. They don't mix. Ugh. I hate that. I love Hulk. So I hate Professor Hulk because he's like, I'm smart, but I'm also cowardly.
What do you mean? In the comics, he does create himself as a double.
What? He never becomes Smart Hulk. He didn't like this in the movies.
Yeah, he's Smart Hulk.
Huh? No, I don't care. No, fuck that. No. If you're gonna go in like Hulk world, that's fine, because he's still Hulk. He's not Smart Hulk. He's not Nerdy Hulk. This is Nerd Hulk. Fucking hate Nerd Hulk. This is cowardly Nerd Hulk. Ugh. He even makes fun of himself at Endgame, which pissed me off because he sees the past him. He's like, roar, fucking throwing cars and shit. And he's like, oh, I'm so embarrassing. I'm like, fucking hate it. Hate it. I hate everything came out of Marvel.
I just found it funny as hell.
Since Infinity War, nothing has been good at all in Marvel. Not a single thing they've come out with has been at all talented. The writers are fucking terrible. This is literally the writers of the show, She-Hulk, are all women, all third wave feminists, hate men, and it shows in the show. Like she's constantly, and then like she rapes dudes in it, and like none of the guys like her for her. They only like She-Hulk, and it's shit. And She-Hulk in the comics is sexy, not shitty CGI'd. Like she comes out, she's fucking hot.
There's a difference between a drawing and CGI, though.
It's still trash. It doesn't look real at all. She walks.
No, it doesn't. It does not look real. No, I will give you.
And it's fucking dumb. I know the writing is fucking horrible. It's like I watch people's reviews and it's like, well, this is another episode. Nothing fucking happened. She goes into a place and they're checking out fucking suits, but they don't show the suit, and it's over. They're gonna go get drunk now. They're gonna go to a wedding. Nothing's gonna happen in that wedding. It's just gonna be a wedding, and then it ends. How's this a superhero? I don't understand how you like it. I don't. It's blowing my mind. It's people have said this. The She-Hulk is worse than Rings of Power because Rings of Power is just a shitty fan fiction, but they're taking She-Hulk. They took everything that was the best of She-Hulk and got rid of it and turned her into like a complaining bitch who just whines all the time. She's in her 40s. She can't get laid. She's so thirsty for anyone who gives her any compliments. Like literally the guy she screws in the show, he's just like, hi, I think you're nice. She's like, all right, let's go fuck.
I have a coworker that's a lawyer.
They don't act like lawyers though. In the show, they literally I just watched the review from the last episode, and literally they screwed over their own client. Because they're supposed to be lawyers for like this guy who's like immortal or something, and he's got like all these wives, and he's pretending he's died for each of his wives because he's immortal. And they're like, well, you owe all these women. And so by the end of it, they actually are taking the sides of all the wives. But then the lawyer's job is to take his side no matter what. That, to make sure he gets the best deal. That's what a lawyer does. But these women are like, oh, you're such a pig. You're a sexist pig. And they attack him. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, no lawyer would do that. Not a professional one. She goes to the fucking...
The one that, like...
They're twerking at their work. What high-end lawyer would be like dancing in their office like that? Like, seriously. Like, come on. This is like shitty fucking... Everything's a joke Marvel. Fucking hate Marvel now.
I don't know. I found some of the humor funny. That's all I know.
Wow, you laughed a couple times. Yay, it's such a great show.
I didn't say it was amazing. I just said I liked it. It was okay.
I know your tastes are like, you don't like Stargate. You kind of like Cyberpunk, and you like She-Hulk. Oh, be gone. Be gone deep. What did you do with my brother?
I like the... What was that?
I won't touch anything from Marvel anymore. I won't even fucking care. They could bring the greatest show ever, and I won't fucking touch it. Fuck Marvel. Fuck Disney. That's what it is. Fuck Disney. Yeah, like Andor, the new Andor show, the new Star Wars thing is out, and some people are like, it's all right. I'm like, no, I don't care.
I haven't watched it yet.
Disney. It's Disney. Fuck Disney. I want nothing to do with Disney. Fuck Disney Star Wars. Fuck Disney Marvel. Fuck them all. Done. No. Them Shiyu. Fuck them Shiyu. I miss the good heroes. Thor was Thor. It's a fat, stupid Thor. Now he's embarrassed Thor who goes and has his fucking ex-girlfriend takes over his powers. Jesus fucking Christ. And Hulk is fucking retarded Hulk. I fucking hate this Hulk. You don't know how much I just... Ever since Endgame, He got Hulk got his butt kicked by fucking Thanos, and ever since then he's like been a pussy. It fucking makes me mad. They even destroyed Doctor Strange's fucking character in his movie. So fuck that. And everybody likes the new Spider-Man, and I liked it because they brought in the old Spider-Mans, and that was it. Everything else sucked.
New Spider-Man was fine.
Hated it. I liked that they brought in Tobey Maguire. I was like, my Spider-Man's finally here. Not Tobey Maguire. What's his name? The original Spider-Man from when we were kids.
I like the young Spider-Man.
I hate him. He's not a Spider-Man. He's fucking teenage Iron Man.
His humor is actually like a lot like Spider-Man's was.
Kind of, but he still doesn't. He's still too much of an Iron Man sidekick, and I hated it. There's no Ben. They literally have no Ben in it. His girlfriend's not even fucking Mary Jane. Not the real Mary Jane. Which I think it was kind of funny that they brought in the original Spider-Man. We're like, yeah, it's not the real Mary Jane. And I'm like, thank fucking God. I'd rather have that universe. Can we follow him back to his world? Can we? Because, and then they're like, I think they did it. I think it was stupid.
No, they're dating.
Huh? No, they're not. They're broken up now. I don't remember the end, don't you? Like he got rid of, like he made everybody forget who he was.
No, I'm talking about in real life.
Who?
The Spider-Man and Jane.
Oh, yeah, I don't care. I thought he was gay in real life.
He's not gay.
Could have sworn someone said he was gay in real life.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah, him and Mary Jane, or I don't remember. I don't know what her actual name is, but they're a big thing.
The young ones or like the older ones?
The new ones.
Huh?
The new Spider-Mans. The new Spider-Man and Mary Jane. They're Tom Holland or whatever his name is.
Tom Holland. Yeah, Tobey Maguire's my Spider-Man. He'll always be my Spider-Man. Fuck all other Spider-Man. I want my Tobey back. Because that dude embodiment, not only Spider-Man, but he also embodiment Peter Parker to perfection in the Spider-Man movie. Perfection. Spider-Man 3 was kind of with Venom, but perfection when it came to Spider-Man. He had the cockiness. He had the Peter Parker nerdiness. He had it down to a T. And it was.
Oh, I thought his humor was
the most perfect Superman, huh?
The comic humor is way better with the new Spider-Man, in my opinion.
No. No, Tobey Maguire did a better job in the original Spider-Man movie than this one. He's mocking, like Spider-Man from the comics and the cartoons is mocking. He always likes to use smart act and mocking as Spider-Man. He mocks the villains. He always has like a quick, slap line, which is fucking great. And Toby did it a lot better, I believe, than fucking this one.
I don't think so.
Actually, I think the other dude from the Amazing Spider-Man did it better, I think, as Spider-Man. He was a terrible Peter Parker, but he was a better Spider-Man. I think Tom Holland is just like too young. I don't believe it. And the whole time he's always sucking up to Tony. And he's like, Tony made my new suit. Look, robot suit, Iron Man. It's like, I don't talk about my Ben because I don't have one. Because Ben Parker wasn't the reason Spider-Man exists. Because he is. I am a Spider-Man nerd. Don't. You have to have Ben and you have to have Mary Jane. Or there is no Spider-Man.
There is a Mary Jane.
She was not Mary Jane. You had to be a redhead, hot babe to be fucking Mary Jane. Period. And she's got to call him Tiger all the fucking time. And she's got to be that kind of hot that's just like way out of your league hot, but still be like the cool chick. That's why, what's her name in Spider-Man movies fucking killed it. Because she was fucking, wow. Like, he was a nerd in school. She was a hot fucking cheerleader. That was Mary Jane, but she's also like the nice cheerleader. And she'd be like, hi, Peter, because they were neighbors. And he'd be like, hi, yi. And she'd be like, good luck, Tiger. And he's like, Fucking love Mary Jane. I grew up. Mary Jane was my girl. That was my fucking vision girl. Fucking hot ass redhead. Never got the hot ass redhead, but I still love my wife. It is our anniversary after all. So, I love you, honey. Well, it's over now, but still. Yeah. Nah, that. I never liked the new Mary Jane. I thought she was like too like rebellious. She always reminded me of like that rebellious girl from like school who hated everything. I don't know.
We'll say she doesn't act like the normal Mary Jane. She doesn't. I think Tom Holland is a good Spider-Man though.
Yeah, I think he's Kid Iron Man. They should have just made him like Iron Man's sidekick and just made him not Spider-Man. Just give him a power suit. He would have been fine.
I mean, they're two of the smartest.
Yeah, he's supposed to be nerdy, but he's not supposed to be Iron Man. Too much in the show, he was like, they were treating Iron Man like Uncle Ben, and that fucking pissed me off throughout the Spider-Man movies. Because he needs Uncle Ben. Like, he looks up, like in the comics, he looks up to Iron Man. But Iron Man is part of the Avengers. He's his own thing. But too much in the movies, Iron Man was like, here's a suit. And he's like, woohoo! And he gives him all his technology when he dies. I think that was stupid. Because why would you give like a freaking high school kid freaking nuclear power? Like, you literally like, gave him the power of a nuke. Like, here you go. It's one of the most powerful weapons in the universe. I created. Enjoy. Like, what? Why would you give that to a kid? No. There's so much wrong with Marvel now. It was good up until like Infinity War, like almost to perfection. There was a couple hiccups here and there, but like Infinity War was like the peak. And I was like, yeah. And Endgame was like, and after that it was just gone. I even gave WandaVision a chance, and the first couple episodes were pretty good. I was like, okay.
I was a big fan of WandaVision.
And then it went to shit. It was like first 3 episodes. I was like, okay, I kind of like this old style TV sitcom. And then it went, Wanda's actually insane. She's kidnapped the entire city. Are they going to make her pay for it? No, they're actually going to say, I understand you, girl power. Girl power. You're free to go. And like the whole next movie is her killing entire universe worth of heroes because she doesn't have her kids. I want my kids. My fake kids that I invented in my psychotic. Fuck that. It's supposed to be the Doctor Strange movie. It turned into the Wanda bitch movie. And it's like, fuck. I hate it. I hate all of it. Fuck the MCU. Especially She-Hulk. I'll never fucking touch that shit with a fucking 10-foot pool. I don't know how you're watching that and enjoying it. Oh, Nathan. We need to get you actually good shows. Watch Cobra Kai. That's a good show.
Oh, yeah, I love Cobra Kai.
Huh?
I love that show.
I know. That's a good story. That's a good show. MCU, God. They're literally saying that the She-Hulk might be the end of Marvel Disney. They might decide just to like end the fucking, because they don't have anything really planned afterwards. Kinda, but not really. Except for the Marvels, which are a bunch of female fucking. They're bringing Brie Larson and a bunch of people together to make the Marvels. Ugh, no thanks. See, Marvel turned after Stan Lee died, it went to shit after Disney took over and Stan Lee was gone. When Stan Lee had some oversight, it was still good. After Stan Lee went away, fucking what's his name took Kevin whatever Feige took complete control, and he has been a complete fucking disaster. Everybody thought he'd be the greatest thing ever, and now he's nothing. He's a fucking. Oh yeah, Galadriel is training the Numenorians to fight in this new episode. Great, like the Numenorians at the height of their power were known as the greatest warrior human race ever, but they needed Galadriel to teach them how to fight. Oh, I need to go watch his review here in a minute. This would be hilarious. Watch him tear this thing apart. In the last episode of Rings of Power, they had a Trump rally, which is awesome because that's what I want in my Tolkien. Is mega rally. Like I like Trump, but I don't need a mega rally in my Tolkien. They literally had the Numenorians stand around and talking about how the elf was going to come and steal their jobs. What? They literally had some dude standing up there and be like, these elves are coming here. They're going to take our work. They're going to take our jobs. They're going to force us to leave. They're gone. They don't need to be here. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God. They're literally trying to do a whole Trump fucking allegory in fucking Lord of the Rings. Oh, fuck these people. Now she's training them. The greatest human fighting force in this age was the Numenorians. This is the ancestor Aragorn. Like these are when their people were at the height of their power. They could not, even Sauron was afraid that they would come and conquer his lands. But Guy Galadriel is literally there training them how to fight. Oh, I hate this show. Oh, probably gonna end it here in a minute so I can.
Yeah, no worries.
Turn on some Cyberpunk, watch his review, and cry as I watch we all cry together as Tolkien dies slowly in his grave again and again and again. Actually, I showed this thing earlier. Let me find it on Twitter. I'll show it to you. It's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. I was like, this is what it must feel. This is what it feels like to be a Tolkien fan watching Rings of Power. Now, where did I put it? Let's check this. Fine. Wow, I shared a lot of shit. Let's look at this one. Come on, where are you? I know you're in here. What the hell? Oh, here it is. Let me share this real quick. We'll end it with this. This is how Tolkien fans feel of Rings of Power. What the hell? What to do with that? That's weird. I'll blow this up. Am I not sharing the right screen? Maybe I'm sharing the wrong screen. Here. Oh, share one. There we go. I was sharing the wrong screen. But this is how we feel as Tolkien fans watching Rings of Power. We get spun around, like, fuck you. I need to get this clip and save it to my fucking show. Yeah, there's Gary's thing. I gotta go watch his fucking review now. Oh, fuck. Oh, yay. Time to go fucking cry. At least on Sunday we'll get to watch the new Game of Thrones. We should try to. I don't know if we'll be able to watch together, but we could try on Sunday night.
What?
Sunday,
The new Game through.
yeah, comes out Sunday like evening. I'm really hoping they do a good job because they're going to change the actresses of two of the people. Actually, there might be more because there might be a couple people leaving. Because I can't imagine them going this far in a time and still having the king be alive. Because there's no way that guy's gonna live much longer. That dude's like dying. Like this episode, the last episode, like showed like he is dying. Like how much blood that dude was losing. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, did you see like when he had like that his sister tried to touch his hand when he was offering their marriage? And he like pulled his hand back and you could see like some of the skin was like just fucked up on his arm. You can tell it's just nasty. I was like, oh fuck. How this happened to him? Is this like because of the throne?
No.
Because he was fine, and then one day, like one of the episodes, like he nicked himself on something on one of the swords on the throne, and ever since then, like he's been breaking out with this fucking nasty ass fucking disease.
No, it's a special disease in the Game of Thrones. They showed in the first episode, in the first season, in the actual Game of Thrones too. It's like this thing that's supposed to like slowly turn your body into like stone or something. If it's the same disease that I don't know. I'm not
It
really
looked
sure
more like some kind of like rotting, like his skin was literally rotting away.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just looks gross.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Let me look it up real quick.
Because I thought it was from the throne. I thought like he like nicked himself on the throne, and like there was something in the throne itself that if you cut yourself on it, it'll like kill you. Like it's a curse or something inside the throne itself. That would be interesting. Like one of the blades they took from Concord cursed his own blade, and then he cut himself on that blade, and it like literally like decays his body over time. I need to read the book. A lot of people said that if you read the book,
it says House of Dragon has alluded to King Viserys' illness, but never named it. That Viserys has a form of leprosy.
That's what I thought. It was like kind of like a leprosy look.
Targaryen's throne until a king has perished. No, that's just
Huh. So it's like a leprosy. That's crazy though, man. I'm actually excited to see next week's episode. This is like the first time I like.
He's suffering from a form of leprosy. He's suffering. His body is deteriorating. His bones are deteriorating. So he's not actually old. He's still a young man in there. Just unfortunately got this thing that's taken over his body, and it becomes a metaphor for being king and the stress and strain that it puts on you, you know, and what it does to you physically, what it does to you mentally.
Huh. Interesting. I just thought it was like something that they were, because he cut himself on the throne. I noticed that. I was like, oh man, he sliced his hand. He was kind of worried because he's like looking down at it, and his brother looks at him like, you all right? And he's like, oh, you know, the burdens of being king or something like that. And he like wraps his hand. And then all of a sudden, like the next episode, he's like taking off his shirt. And he's got these like fucking nasty ass looking like just
Well,
like,
I mean,
I don't know.
there's definitely corrosion and stuff inside those blades, and they don't really have the technology, like we do,
Like, yeah,
medicine.
infections and stuff.
So it could be an infection that then turns into leprosy. So
I just thought it'd be cool if it was like a curse, like, within the throne, like whoever sits on it, that's why it's made like that. I don't know. I think it's interesting though because it makes the chair like dangerous. That's why I like how we did in our book is we make hiking Thurio's chair like his throne is like not comfortable at all. It's made of like very uncomfortable wood, and like when he sits on it, it's like, oh, this will hurt my back, and that way it's it's like a metaphor to be like never be you are not true ruler, never be too comfortable on your seat. Because the true ruler one day will return because like God's throne behind him is like way bigger and like way more lavish, and then there's the other throne beside it that's way more decorative, and then there's his tiny little chair. God, hopefully soon I'll be going on with Comics Division. I know. I mean, he's still having talks with Manfu look over the book. He told me a couple weeks ago he's reading it now. So hopefully he finishes the book and then gets me on so we can promote it. I gotta sell more books. That's not, I only sold still around less than 30. And so we have to get the numbers up there somehow. So if you're watching, look,
your other guys.
Oh, I'm trying to get a hold of Gary, but he still hasn't answered me back. I gotta wait till he gets another membership and be like, "Hey, dude, you know how you promised this?" I sent his book out. His book is supposed to get there tomorrow or Saturday. So hopefully, when he gets it, he'll remember that he's supposed to help me promote it. If he likes it, I told him if he likes it. If he doesn't like it, then let me know, and then I'll find a different way to promote it. But still, at least let me know. If you don't like it, that's fine, dude. I'm not worried. If he's like, I think it's all right, but it's not my style, I'm like, okay, dude, okay. Can't win them all. It'll be nice to. I just need a good review on Amazon. If you don't have any reviews, Amazon doesn't promote your book at all. But if you start getting good reviews on it, and then it gets into an algorithm, it'll send the book into an algorithm, and it'll start getting seen by more people, and that's what we need to happen. So if anybody's watching this stream, even if after, because there's no one here now, but if they are going to watch, please if you buy my book, please review it on Amazon or on wherever you bought it so that I can get more eyes on it. Because that's what I need. I just need to get more eyes on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I need to sell enough that I can make the audiobook. And then when the audiobook is done, then I can really make a lot of money because people make good money on audiobooks. So if I could do that, then I can do other things. Like I really like Shadowversity. I'll actually look him up real quick. I'll promote that before we get off here. But Shadowversity, he created his own he just did his own Indiegogo campaign for he did his we call those graphic novels. He turned his book, had an artist come in, one of the best artists in the business come in, and he hired him to do his book. So it's a graphic novel, and it looks so good. His book is great too. So if anybody's looking to, here it is, like here. We'll watch this and then we'll break it off. Share screen, audio, boom, share. This is his thing. So far, he's made 183,625. He's 183% of his goal, which is fucking good. 1,632 backers, man. He's killing it. But he's a good author. His author is actually, his book's been out for a while. And he's got the audio version too, and I got the audio book, and it was so good. That's what Shadows of the Conqueror right here. It's actually a very interesting book because this guy, like his main character, is actually the world's greatest villain. He's known as the Conqueror, and he's like people hate him. And then if you read the book, you'll understand what happens, and it's so fucking good. This is what I want right here. Well, how much of that? Look at that. Oh, glass would kill me. I'm like, honey, I spent $500. She's like, what? They got the novel. They got all different like one you could pick the covers, like what art cover you want for your. And then you got the regular. You got a hardback novel, so you can get like if you haven't got his book yet, you can like get a hardcover. Which I actually talked to Drafted Digital. I actually got a hold of them about that, and I asked them about hardcovers. Are they ever going to come out hardcover? They said not anytime soon. Pretty much what they said. They said that we do want to bring them in as hardcover, but right now we just don't have the resources to do it. I was like, so I really want a hardcover artist edition. Yeah, and you got to pick your covers. So you can pick one of both for $45. All 4 graphic novel covers in a bundle for $75, which would be kind of cool. And all hardback novel covers. So this is like the novel and different art. You get the signed one for $75. Yeah, see, I want the one with the leather. The leather, though, is $200 just with the leather back. I would love to get our book with leather bound. That would be so fucking cool. Well, let's watch this, and then we'll. If you don't subscribe to Shadowversity, definitely do, because you'll like his channel, Nathan. He does a lot of like
Shadow of the Conqueror.
He does a lot of reviews on like actual like medieval stuff, like how swords would be used, like in scientific ways, like how heavy would a blade be? Would it cut through this? Could you use the blade to do this, or could you do that with it? It's really good. Armor, what would armor really look like? Why the Fantasy armor looks like crap?
Is the breakout debut novel by Shad M. Brooks.
You hear it?
Truly incredible. I absolutely loved this book. Honestly, it's one of the best books I've ever read. S. Keith Hall.
The tale of a deposed, tyrannical emperor who embarks on a journey towards redemption. The 82-year-old Dalen, once known as Dalus the Conqueror, is cursed, becoming a youth, and obtains the mythical powers of the legendary Arch-Knights. Battling inner demons, his violent and cruel inclinations, and enemies both old and new, he ventures onward trying to fight back the growing darkness threatening the world. After all, who better to hunt monsters than the greatest monster the world has ever known?
This novel is gripping and masterfully crafted within its world. Shad Brooks defies all preconception of a first novel and hits the ground running with a skill few writers can match. Seth Patchell.
Shadow of the Conqueror is based in one of the most well-crafted and unique fantasy worlds the genre has seen in many years, and fans of the novel have been craving to see it depicted visually.
This is easily one of the most compelling works of fiction I've ever read. I could go on and on about how original the setting is, or how many times I was nearly brought to tears, or how absolutely riveting the action is. But nobody wants to read a 10-paragraph essay, so I'll keep this short. 10 out of 10. Michael.
Now, Shadow of the Conqueror is coming to you in an epic graphic novel adaptation with the incredibly talented art of Mike S. Miller. This will bring its dark, confronting story to fans and new readers alike in another beloved format, making the story more accessible than ever before, and enabling current fans to enjoy it in new ways.
I was engrossed in the tale of the Conqueror. I laughed, cried, growled with anger, and shouted with joy. But also during this entertaining ride of emotion, I came away with mental growth and new perspective on the human condition. Andrew Johnson.
Mike is a 28-year veteran of the comic book industry, famous for his work on DC Comics' Injustice series, and George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones related graphic novels.
I've read so many novels I've lost count, fantasy genre or otherwise, but in my opinion, this is one of the best. Seaton 425.
The author of Shadow of the Conqueror, Shad M. Brooks, has been a fan of both comic books and Mike's work for many years, and is thrilled to be working with him to bring this graphic novel to the highest standards possible.
Graphic
I
novel would
don't
be really
typically
cool to do
listen to
for
audiobooks multiple times, but this is my 4th time
Lucifer
through and I'm loving
story.
it more each time. Highly recommend for anyone who loves fantasy action stories. C. Barker.
The book will be separated into 4 graphic novel volumes. This first one, entitled Enemies of Self, has 48 pages of stunning art visualizing the amazing and unique world of Everfall with some of the best work Mike has ever done.
It must be admitted that there was a large amount of skepticism when this book was recommended. However, a story that would leave the reader hooked and begging for more was not something that was expected. The overall plot and flow of the story was simply phenomenal. I highly recommend this book. It is filled with action, humor, love, hate, science, and the psychology of the human condition. History Rewriter.
Separating the book into 4 volumes gives great opportunity to adapt more of the work and even add new content not seen in the original novel. Far from being given secondary regard as a token adaptation that doesn't accurately represent the source material, the graphic novels are being made with the intent to form a crucial part of the Everfall story, revealing fascinating aspects to the characters and world not found in any other format.
Powerful and gut-wrenching. I laughed, introspected, winced, wondered, cried, and will be revisiting this world. Michael Larson.
At the time of launching this Indiegogo campaign, the graphic novel is completed and ready to print. This is not to fund the creation of the graphic novel, but to give you the chance to get your hands on it. We will be able to place the print order as soon as this launch campaign ends, and you will get the graphic novel in your hands much sooner without needing to wait for the graphic novel's completion. With the launch of the graphic novel, I'm very excited to announce that during this Indiegogo campaign, I will be releasing a refined version of Shadow of the Conqueror as a 2nd edition version. This is not the sequel, but a more refined and polished version of Shadow of the Conqueror, with an incredible new cover made by Chris McGrath. The 2nd edition will at first be an exclusive in the Indiegogo campaign, where you will be able to get your hands on a limited edition version of the 2nd edition novel with the graphic novel covers, which will not be available ever again once this launch campaign ends.
I like the art.
And in addition
Really
to this,
good.
we've gone even further and made premium, high-class, display-quality, collector edition, leather-bound versions
No, I
of the
want a
2nd
leather-bound.
edition novel and graphic novel, both of which will be available for a limited time during this launch.
$200 though.
Way
Oof.
better than I thought it would be. Bought because I watched Shad on YouTube. I never thought his book would be as good as this is. Kind of blown away. Jevin Curley.
With special collector edition covers and limited Everfall merchandise,
I like
this
his
is your
sword.
one and only chance
Has
to
his own
secure these
customized
special
sword for hero.
versions
It's
of
really
this
cool.
phenomenal epic fantasy graphic novel. Just because the mainstream comic book industry is declining in both quantity and quality doesn't mean we still can't make great graphic novels for those who love them and attract new fans to the format. Please share this Indiegogo campaign with as many people you feel would be interested and who would love to enjoy such a visually
Oh, yeah,
stunning
Shadow
and
of the Sea.
emotionally riveting story as this Chronicles of Everfall, Shadow of the Conqueror, Volume 1, Enemies of Self.
So yeah, that's the campaign, everyone. So if you ever want to go to Indiegogo and think of backing a book, this one I suggest. Let's copy this. Post this in the chat. And there we go. Put that in the description also. And it's in the chat for anybody who wants to click on it and go see it. And check it out. It looks badass, dude. I want the freaking the $500 one though. Because you get everything. You get all the covers, you get all the leathers, you get everything. It's like, oh. 42 people claimed it. That's 42 people that bought a $500 worth of camp. Oof. Oh man, you're killing it, Shadowversity. Killing it, man. That's a good prize. I got like maybe $100 for my book. Hey, I'm not jealous. I'm happy for this dude. This dude earned it. He's a good writer. His book is great. And it's been out for a while, so I think the graphic novel will be perfect for our side one. Lucifer story.
Yeah.
I think graphic novel is the way I want to go with that one. On the hiking Thurio story, I don't know if I'm going to go like a short story or actually like graphic novel with that one too. We'll see. How much money I got to be able to afford it. I don't really want to go too much into Indiegogo without, because I have to find the artist. You got to find a printer. You got to find all that stuff. I just couldn't find a printer. We found that one printer, and then he stopped talking to me. Fucking ignored all my questions, and I was like, "What the fuck?" That's why I'm so glad I found Drafted Digital. It's like, okay, so I can just get it out there now. That works better. But yeah, let me go to. I haven't been on my Drafted Digital all in a week. I wonder if I've got any.
Yeah, the second cover is way, way better than the first one. The first cover is kind of eh.
What, the new one? New one you got?
Yeah, the new cover is good.
I like it. I really enjoy his new cover. Copy that again. Let's see how much I sold this month. 0. I have still sold nothing this month at all. 5 books last month. 18 in total. That's just the physical copies. I don't know how many ebooks I sold. Hey, we got royalties finally. $8.63 going to us. Yay! Oh, it hurts a little bit. But that's all right. It'll sell when people start reviewing it, and I'll start selling it more. That's all I'm waiting for. I'm really wanting to get the reviews in so I can get the audiobook done. I found one dude on the audiobook site that the Drafted Digital does, but it was like $3,000 for to hire him to do the full audio. And I was like, oh, I liked him too. He sounded really good. And I was like, I don't know. That's a lot of money. Comment I'm posting now is the link to my Drafted Digital account. My book. Let's look at mine. Let's look at my actual author page. I'll share this real quick before we're done. This is my author page, which you can find. Definitely check it out. This is what it looked like. You can find the ebooks everywhere, plus paperback and Parsonal, Amazon, and wherever this B place is. Angton Robinson's paperback. But yes, please look for it in your local stores. Support us. That's a good idea. Maybe if we make enough off this book, eventually I will make a second edition to it. Get another cover artist to do a different cover. That'd be cool. And then like hire an actual editor to help go over the book and find detail to polish it up. That might be a good idea. But
Probably.
yeah. Not saying we didn't do a good job, because I think we did a good job. I liked it. Jacob's reading it right now.
We did what we could do.
Yeah. Well, Jacob's reading it right now, and so far he said he didn't see any big things with it, so he likes a lot of books. So I'm hoping as long as he likes it and he can get his friends to like it, maybe they'll buy the book too. So at least somebody will buy the book.
Yeah.
I was hoping it'll take a while. I got to start working on the second book, though. If I don't start working on the second book, I'm going to lose faith in doing it, and I need to get going because I want to get the second book done before. I don't want to let another 2.5 years before I get the second book out. So I'm hoping we make enough money off this book to do the ebook, maybe do a second edition, and get the second book completely done, plus the side books I want to do. And if we make enough money, I can do the Indiegogo platform to do the graphic novels. That way I can get with comic guys and like figure out how we're gonna do it and get it out there. Maybe I could talk with my one buddy, Red Gaze, and see what it takes to actually like make a full graphic novel. How much it would cost. Because that would be badass. We'll see. We'll see. But thank you all for coming. We're gonna wrap it up now because it's already almost 1:30 in the morning. And I'm sure Gary's already done with his stream anyways. So thank you all for being here. We'll see you guys next time in the Miniature Origins. Peace out.